I'm going to drop a couple bombs on the FD channel right now.
Who are you rolling?
I am rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
Let's do it. Let's go.
We are rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
You know we rolling with FD, baby.
We got alphas and bros in the house.
That's right. Peace out, my brother.
Woo! I'm rolling with the F to D.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
You gotta love it, man. This is a family thing.
That's good. That's good. Man.
Hey, Renee, who you rolling with?
Rolling with FD.
Hey, Matt.
Rolling with FD.
C. Bless, who you rolling with?
I'm rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
That's how you just rolling, right? That's the whole thing, right? You roll with it.
You gotta let me know who you rolling with.
We're rolling with FD. You heard it first.
I'm rolling with FD.
I am rolling with FD.
I'm not just a pretty face, Ziggy. JD, we should both do it.
No, I'm not doing that.
What question do you have for me? All right, Manny and Jeremy, who you rolling with?
We're rolling with FD. We don't want to get our asses kicked.
You gotta let the people know who you rolling with, man.
Well, obviously I'm rolling with FD.
Welcome to May. It's May 1st, 2023. And I have a great guest here. Sports knowledge. Also, it's with Ricoh. It's going to walk you through product that can help you sell online, organize your sports card collection. We're going to talk about quite a few things tonight. But I want to welcome Don Caruso to What's the Play.
Rolling FD thing, man. Like it's been a while, so it's really good to be on your podcast and talk to your listeners.
Well, I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah, I can think back to when we first met, a year or so ago. It might have been at the Burbank Sports Card. So you saw a guy that was a deer in the headlights on these trade nights.
Mm-hmm.
And you walked up and you're like, you need some help, man. What can I help you with? And ever since then, whenever I see you at a card show or an event, you've always been really kind and helpful. So props to you.
I could tell by your body language, kind of your interaction early in the day, that you were interested to understand what is this all about. So we're here. We might as well walk through it.
It was a kid in a candy store. Like I had never seen anything like that outside from the 110-degree room. It was It was really cool to be involved in something like that.
If it's not hot in the room, there's really no deals going down.
Yeah, it's either that or extremely freezing. I used to be known for in our office to turn our air conditioning down to 60 degrees in the office just to make people work.
Mm-hmm.
And, you go to 1-2 extremes. It's always making people get up and do things.
Very true. Now let's kick this off by you walk us through Don Caruso. Tell everybody your background, kind of where you're from. Walk us through your career and what led you up to Ricoh.
Yeah, so my name's Don Caruso. I have been with the previously Fujitsu scanner group, now Ricoh scanners, for almost 17 years. I've been in the document imaging, artificial intelligence space for almost 20. I've been a collector since I was yay big. I used to, when I was a kid, send out through the mail cards to my favorite teams, the Warriors, the Seahawks, the Sharks and the San Francisco Giants. And I have a huge collection of cards, frequented, live here in the Bay Area of San Jose Bay Area. And whenever we get a chance to go to card shows, I'm always going to them. I have an 11-year-old son whose passions probably exceeded mine at the 11-year-old mark. We've done a number of videos together in the hobby. He tends to go to almost all the trade shows. We're here to try to support the hobby in any way we can. We kind of tripped into the whole market with scanning trading cards. To be honest with you, I didn't even know it existed until I talked to one of your friends. You might know him, Bo Thompson from the One Cubs Network, and Rob Veras over at Burbank Sports Cards.
Mm-hmm.
Once I learned the process of what was going on and then learned the software partners behind it, it really made a lot of sense. And now, we're at the point where we're selling around 50 units a month.
Well, tell everybody, talk to people about some of the popular models that you have. What are people looking for? And what do you offer the overall hobby community?
Yeah, so our product, it's the number one product in the scanning market. We have almost 75-80% share in the United States when it comes to scanning documents.
Mm-hmm.
And what people are looking in the hobby for is the sellability of a product. So rather than going and using your iPhone and taking a picture, and you probably can do what, 10 or 15 a day if you took a picture, type out the description on eBay, upload it to eBay. That process is streamlined through using, number one, our scanner, which you can get a couple thousands of images within a couple hours on, and partnership with our two software partners, Chronosio and Card Dealer Pro, who have technology that basically extract data from cards and uploads them to selling sites. So you're not typing anything. You know, their accuracy rates are really high in the mid 90s. And clients are now able to post a ton of cards on selling sites like eBay and whatnot by scanning, as opposed to doing one at a time. And what we're seeing, you know, we've been doing this for about a year and a half, 2 years now in this market. And, you know, we're selling 50 units a month, and most people are just buying one unit. The average price of these scanners are somewhere between $600 to $1,000, depending on what you go with. We're seeing a large amount of card shops and online online sellers to eBay and other areas just through the roof, especially in the last 6 months, as we work more card shows and we work more events and do more of these types of podcasts, get the word out. You know, our clients are looking for ease of use. They're looking to protect their cards. One thing that we're very good at, our scanners are, you know, what separates us from everybody else is that we don't damage cards. It's a straight paper path. We use rubber rollers. You can scan with top loaders, or you can scan with penny slavers. You can scan with card saver 2s, as well as scanning raw cards, and generally have no issues. We also have other technology that allows PSA slabs and Beckett slabs to scan. We have a flatbed technology and an overhead technology, which is just, again, it's faster, it's connectivity to selling sites, and it's, you know, the speed and accuracy that the market's demanding.
Very good information. So if I'm someone, I watch this and I'm interested in looking through what kind of products you have, looking at price points, and I want to order, how do I go about doing that?
I would say reach out to me. You know, we have many different outlets to buy. You can buy through any type of Amazon or what have you on our website. But oftentimes, like in this event, one of the things that I'm going to offer at the end of this event, or I'll offer it right now, is event show pricing. So we have unique discount codes that we can provide to clients. So my email is there in my name title right now, dcaruso.pfu@fujitsu.com. Shoot me an email if you're interested, and we'll connect it to the show. So maybe I can send FD a good gift for taking care of something like this for us. And, you know, we'll make sure our clients are taken care of as well.
And what we'll do is we'll cut this out, make it a clip, put it on social media, and make sure people are aware of the offer that's out there and how you get in contact with Don, and really close the loop on making sure that if you're interested in the product, you have a source, you have some resource, someone you can talk to, get your questions answered, as well as build a relationship with, because I know
for sure
things evolve over time, technology changes over time, and you have a contact to talk to.
Yeah, the one thing we're really good at is the start to finish process. You know, we understand that, you know, this isn't the easiest machine in the world to figure out. We handhold customers from beginning to the end, and make sure that not only are they able to set up the scanner really fast, but we help them with the connections to our software partners. I always tell customers that the scanner is really the no-brainer part. Like, if you really want to speed up production, just buy the scanner. Don't think about the price. Don't think about all the other things that go along with it. Spend some time to understand what software you need, because the software is the magic to this whole solution. I always say the software is like driving a car without gas. You need that gas. And I think, FD, when I saw you the second time at the Ontario show, and we went through the demo, you kind of saw, and we're like, whoa, wait a second, there's something here.
Yes.
And I think that's really the magic behind the scenes.
So I'm going to ask a question that would usually come to my mind if I'm picking out a product, looking at things. Speak to us about how your products are different than the competition.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to start thinking about.
Yeah. So our competition, you know, a scanner is not a scanner, just like a printer is not a printer. Our scanners separate ourselves because of a couple things. Number one, our paper handling, paper and scanner, and the actual card handling. We are very gentle to products as they come through. We're very accurate. You don't have jams or misfeeds. with our competition, oftentimes, especially in the card market, you get. The other thing is image quality. We have high-end camera technologies. We have new sensors that allow the technology for like a Chrome card to come through the scanner and not look all dark and distorted. We allow the image to pop on the screen, which helps you sell the product much faster. And then at the end of the day, it's brand reputation. Like Fujitsu / Ricoh has been around for 30 years. Mm-hmm. We're not going anywhere. Our competition is. They're, going one way or the other. So, within the last 6 months, we have been acquired by the Ricoh family, which is a bigger name in the United States. We're really excited about that. Most people who go to an office every day might have an MFP printer device that they would use. And we're able to play off of that and make sure that we're, attracting the same type of database. So, when you're looking for a product and you're going to spend $1,000 on it, it's not cheap, right? Like, you want to make sure that you're buying a brand reputation, because a car's not a car. You can buy a steak and get it at a high-end steakhouse, or you can go to Denny's and get one. You're still getting a steak. But at the end of the day, your experience at a high-end steakhouse is probably going to be much better than you would at a Denny's or something.
And let's talk to this as well. If I buy an item, is there a warranty connected with that? What would I do if I end up having, let's say, because I'm familiar with your product. Yep. I know how the quality that is there. So we already know that. But let's say I have an issue, if I have something that's going on. Yeah. How does that work?
Yeah, it's real simple. We offer an 800 number. And we have tech supports, a big group of people here in the United States, here in California, who are ready to take calls. The average call pickup time is less than a minute. So it's not like when you call AT&T or something, right? You get someone right away. And they're all trained on the card market. We've spent a lot of time making sure that they understand what's the difference between a Prism and a cardboard card. What's a PSA slab and what's a Beckett slab and what's the difference? We've spent a lot of time doing that. And the best part about it all is it's free. So out of the box, the scanner comes with a 1-year warranty, but forever you will get free support by calling into our 800 number. And I'm readily available too. So, I'm kind of like the asterisk to all this, right? If you want to bounce an idea off of me, or wonder if a setting is helpful versus something else, or hey, can it do X, Y, and Z in the card market? I'm always available to shoot an email to or give a call, and we could talk through it.
Like Don said, everyone, Ricoh, top-notch brand, top-notch quality. If you're at work, I know I am. We have Ricoh representatives all the time in the building. I've gotten to know several of them.
Yeah.
I can name some off the top of my head, and we have a relationship with them. And when we call, they respond. So, we're talking about quality products, quality people. And I will hope everyone knows, just like when you're buying your laptop, like we talked about earlier, your computer, every brand's not the same. When you talk about scanners and printers, you're talking about some of the best quality here. So that's why I wanted to have Don on.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the kind words.
Oh, yeah. We got Zerny here. Zerny says he's in class. What's up? What's up, Zerny? You got to tell us what class you're taking. Brendan. Brendan has a question. Hi, FD. Does Don use hyperspectral imaging? No, we don't.
I honestly, I don't know much about that. I'll be very honest with you. I have no idea what that is, but if we did use it, I would know if we did or didn't. So I can look into it and probably reach back out to you, Brendan, after the show or in another format.
Okay. Big John says hello. Big John, thanks for having you here. Dexflow, I have nothing but love for you as well. I love steak F Dizzle. I've never heard steak before. Dexflow, yeah. I really enjoy it.
We all love steak. It's great.
So I know you love sports.
Yeah.
You're a sports fan. Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I wasn't very good at it. I'm probably better at knowing sports than playing. I don't have
play, though? I'm interested. I got to know more.
I was a basketball guy. I was a baseball guy. I really sucked at football. I'm just not big enough.
Okay.
But I enjoyed more playing baseball and basketball.
Oh, very good.
But again, you've met me. I'm 5'8", nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I respect you though, Don. I respect you. So now, I did not know you lived in the San Jose area.
Yeah, I live in San Jose. I actually live in Morgan Hill, which is a suburb south of San Jose. Our office is in Sunnyvale.
Yeah, no Sunnyvale.
So from time to time we get up there, but there's a ton of card shops and card shows. That's what's great about living in the Bay Area is every weekend there's something that you can go to. They just had a big autograph signing show at the Santa Clara Convention Center this last weekend.
I have a friend that lives in Virginia. He sent a jersey to he hit me up this morning with some pictures to someone that he knew in the area. Went to the Santa Clara show, excuse me.
Yeah.
And got Brian Young to sign his jersey. So he was sending me pictures of that signing. Very nice.
San Jose State coach.
That's right.
Gotta love Brian Young. That's right. Yeah.
You know, it's funny how in the world of sports, I could say the name Brian Young. I've been to shows and talked about Brian Young after knowing Mr. Thomas. And people are like, man, who was that? I'm like,
come on.
I'm originally from Chicago, Notre Dame,
yeah.
San Francisco, winning Super Bowl. I'm like,
yeah.
You know, things get forgotten.
I'm a big Seahawks fan, so notice how I didn't say Bryant Young, the 49er.
Mm-hmm.
I went with the San Jose State because I'm alumni. So, you know, but mad respect, that guy was a monster on the line. And, you know, and you see him every so often in San Jose. I think he lives up in the Silver Creek Villages with, you know, Merton Hanks and those guys, Vernon Davis. You see Vernon Davis and those guys all around the Pasta Pomodoros and stuff. So it's really nice.
Players right there. Merton Hanks. No. They had him at safety and Dion at corner?
Yeah. I mean, Merton Hanks, when I met him, he's not bigger than I am.
No.
He ain't 6 feet tall, I'll tell you that. And for him to do what he did, it's pretty amazing.
And if everybody out there doesn't know, a small safety
I know.
is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Like you got to bring it on the run. Like you can't be just back there. It's extremely different. Merton Hanks is built differently.
Yep.
He puts it all on the line when he comes, and he didn't miss tackles.
No, he did not. You know, I right now am living vicariously through sports through my son. He's 11-year-old travel baseball player. You know, solid lefty. So I got, you know, he wears 22 because why? Dad's favorite player is Will Clark.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's you know, lefty, throws pretty hard, and really enjoys playing all types of sport. That and basketball are probably his two best sports as well. So,
what's your son's name?
It's Vinny Caruso. Vinny. So he's watching right now downstairs.
I've met Vinny before.
You have, I think. I think you have. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So now, okay. So when Golden State wins the championship,
when we do,
when I said when, not if.
Yep.
We're coming up to the Bay Area to get involved in the celebration parade.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm definitely going to be in contact.
You bring your son for sure. Maybe we can meet up, take the train up, and
I'm gonna bring Junior and Greg, and we're gonna come up and enjoy ourselves.
Oh yeah, they would have a blast. We went to one of theirs, and I think we've been to two of the Giants ones, and it's a ball. It's awesome.
I cannot wait. So now, speaking of Golden State, what did you think of Steph last night?
Man, that was a historic performance. Like I might be biased. I've been a Warriors fan. I was season ticket holder. Well, let's see, Keith Jennings and Chris Gatlin and all those guys were playing for the Warriors. So I wasn't a season ticket holder when they were winning games. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to see him step out and really establish himself as the greatest point guard of all time.
Do you think he's the greatest point guard? I was just about to ask the question.
It's him and Magic. And, you know, it's hard to say anything bad about the two of them. Mm-hmm. But after what Steph did last night, and the whole world didn't expect the Warriors to win this game. The whole world.
Well, you're going on the road in a hostile environment. This team is Sacramento Kings were the 3 seed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they said you couldn't hear anything in the stadium.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I wasn't very confident that they were going to go in and win that game. But to watch that game and the way that they won that game with a mixture of him and Looney hitting the boards and, you know, the role player stepping up. And I guess now, I don't know, what is Clay a role player now? He has his streakiness, you know, but it's going to be an exciting series against the Lakers. You know, there's already a lot of smack talk going on between my friends' kingdom on my phone. We're all going back and forth. So it's going to be a very interesting next week or two.
Well, you know, I'm here in LA, so I work with Laker fans. And I told them last week, get ready.
Yeah.
People are coming for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we match up really well.
Oh, yeah.
Really well.
I just want to see. What I'm really focused on. It's not Clay. It's not Steph. It's not Draymond. I'm focused on Looney and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I'm focused on the LeBron Wiggins matchup.
Ooh, it's gonna be nice.
You know that's gonna be like the old Iguodala days when he used to.
Hold on. Now. Let's take everybody back in time.
Yep.
Wiggins got drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yep.
They moved him for Kevin Love.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen in the past, whenever Wiggins plays against LeBron, Wiggins is playing his heart out.
Yeah. It's a whole different person. Yeah.
It's going to be all that history, the draft history and everything. And then Wiggins going to Minnesota, never really wanted to be in Minnesota. There's going to be all of that going on when they hit the court.
I just hope the Warriors bench can step it up. You know, we know what we're going to get out of Steph. You know what you're going to get out of Clay. You know what Draymond's going to do. And Looney looks like every other night he likes to get 20 boards a game. You know, we need that. We need Jonathan Kuminga to step up. We need, you know, some of these other role players, you know.
Lamb.
Yeah.
Moses Moody came in, gave some good minutes.
Yeah, he didn't look too bad.
We need him to continue with his confidence level.
Yep.
And I think what we really need, because I know that was a game when Kuminga was kind of down, and Iguodala was talking to him on the sidelines. Kuminga had a towel over his head. We just need people to see the end goal. Don, I'm telling you, man, if you're the Steph from our squad, I'm gonna do everything I can to win. I'm gonna do everything I can to support you and other players that I know. I want to be scrappy. I'm gonna dive in on the floor for balls and doing whatever. I'm not hanging my head because of my minutes.
No. Yeah, no,
That's
not
what
at all.
We really need. We need people to come in, play their role, and dominate.
We need Livingston type of mentality.
That's right.
You know, the guy that didn't care about the numbers, was just coming in, shutting people down, dishing the ball out.
That's right.
We need somebody to step it up outside of the people we know, because Steph's going to get his 30 a night. They don't got anybody that's going to be able to guard him.
Yes.
I mean, nobody's going to be able to. I mean,
you know, they're probably going to step out with Vanderbilt and all those other guys. I can't wait to see if these guys are ready to run for 5-6 games.
Yeah, it should be interesting. And I like that we don't have a lot of time off. You know, coming from the series.
Some people said they're going to be dragging, but I actually think it's good.
I think it's going to be great.
And what helped too is that who they were playing were only 90 minutes away. They weren't traveling around the country to get to their opponents, so they were probably back home in no time.
Right. Yeah. I think they even flew. It was weird. I saw Steph was going on a flight. It's like, what, a 20-minute flight?
Yeah, probably 20-minute flight. Get you back in your bed with your family and chill out.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. So we got Big John here says brands matter. Even printer and scanner are different. Yes.
Oh, yeah. They're much different.
Total support, the customer service, everything we talked about is very key. Zerny says he's in a Rolling with FD class. I'm glad that you think that way. You know, we try to bring people in here and have real conversations about things and introduce people to different people in a hobby and beyond. So, Zerny, I appreciate you.
I think FD, everybody's trying to get on that first minute and a half of your show.
You know, we had an idea. We were on for a couple of episodes. Then I just asked somebody at the end of the show that's off the whim, like, who you rolling with? And then it started building from there. And now we have guests on who are like, well, I got to get in that intro. So,
well, hey, at any point in time soon here, if it isn't already happening, when you go do shows, people are going to come up and just want to take pictures with you.
Oh, it's all good. You know,
it's weird. It's starting to happen with me, like because of the videos that we've done in our website. And I'm like, really? Okay. I'm just a scanner guy, but I'll take a picture with you. No problem.
Hey, one thing I want to say, give a testimonial. Burbank Sports Cards uses your products.
Oh, yeah.
And Rob has talked. I mean, I've heard him talk in person. I've heard him talk on videos. Let's just speak to that a little bit, because sometimes people say, hey, well, FD had him on, Don's saying certain things. But just talk about some of the clients out there that you have that is using your technology.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. You know, of course you can't. I mean, Burbank's the #1 card shop in America, in my opinion. If you go there, it's like going to Disneyland. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know Rob has been using our products for 12 years until I met him. He had been on 3 different revisions of it. I think they own somewhere between 7 to 10 scanners in their warehouse. And let me tell you guys, if you ever get a chance to go to Burbank Card Shop, ask for the tour.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Costco-sized tour of 40 plus million. It's ridiculous, but Rob's a great guy. He's great to kids, which is the amazing part. Everybody who walks through the door, he greets them. But for our technology, it was really, really important to have something that was reliable, because where it blew up for him was COVID. People couldn't go to a card shop anymore.
Sure.
And he went from selling a couple dozen cards online to hundreds of cards. I think he's close to selling something like 1,000 cards per day online. Per day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strictly because of the fact that he was able to hire the people to use the scanner. And then once we built that connection, we honed in the craft and made the images much better. And it just continues. He becomes a source of like someone that I will bounce ideas off of. Like, hey, we came out with this new riser, or hey, we're working on something for PSA slabs. What do you think? We've also worked with other large card shops like DC Sports in Virginia. Huge card shop. They have done a really good job of owning, I think it's somewhere around a dozen scanners. They use both our flatbed and overhead scanning technology. And again, the same type of thing. They have a storefront. What we're seeing a lot of is storefront customers mixed with the online selling. And there are days where Rob will tell you that he makes more money from the online selling than the store selling. And it's not just about Rob. It's all of those customers that are eBay sellers.
Yes.
We have probably 2/3 of all of our sales is eBay sellers, because they understand technology. They're generally speaking, people younger who look at the technology and embrace it.
Yes.
And and we tend to not let them down. I think the other thing is with card shops, sometimes the card shop owners are so set in the ways of what they want to sell, and until they think out of the box, and you see Rob and other people go into the Mint and to Burbank, his own show, and speaking at these big large events, talking about how technology is the next big wave in this market.
Yeah.
That was something I wanted to talk to you about as well, and ask you was, what do you think about the technology movement in this market? Fanatics I think they're going to bring more technology into things.
They're going to bring a lot more. I hope people are ready for that.
Yeah, it should be a big game changer in the market with, not only being able to meet more players and, the special patches on the cards and stuff that you're going to see. But I really want to see from a software standpoint and a technology standpoint what they bring to this market for the kids and the sellers alike.
And I think that's what people fail to remember, is that once you bring technology into play, then you bring a different demographic as well as age group into play. I was in a card shop recently, and it was a card shop that was set up similar to when I was a young child.
Okay.
It was really it was good to see I was able to show my sons, hey, this is a place that reminds me of how I grew up. And I got into a good conversation, very good conversation. We didn't get a chance to catch it on camera, but I got into a very good conversation with the owner. I respect him a lot. And we were candid with each other about stuff we've seen in the past, as far as the hobby and where the hobby may be going in the future. And to answer your question, I think Fanatics is going to bring a lot of. I think it's designed. Their ideas, even from what I've heard, bringing the end user closer to their respective sport that they love. Yeah. So it's either going to be a piece of material in the card, something relating to a particular game, probably on or around the card, some things about your favorite player. You're going to have a chance to meet more athletes.
Yeah.
Go to events, talk to people, meet a Bryant Young or whatever the athlete may be. Someone that's very relevant to what's going on today, probably also some throwback players. That's probably going to be more events for children to get involved in. I mean, those are the things that kind of keep the hobby going to me.
Yeah.
I don't think anything in life, though. I always tell people, I say this in my Instagram page. I say this in content. I say this in person. Embrace change, because it is coming. A lot of times as people, we want things to stay the way they are for a long period of time. And sometimes we look back and we forget how long things have been the way we wanted them to be. But change is coming. There's going to be change coming to the hobby.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be positive change. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I am too. Every time I try to do something, I try to think of the kids' perspectives. Like, you go into some card shops now and some of them have a bar. It's more of an event than a card shop.
Mm-hmm.
I too appreciate the old school card shops where you walk in and it's just cards on the wall and stuff in the cases. But, turning things into an event, especially for today's children, is very visual. They're coming from the video game world. They want to meet their favorite players. They don't understand how important it is. I mean, back in the day when you and I were kids, the only way you could meet a player was going to the field at a game.
You had to get there early and
2 hours early.
The player came in your direction.
You better have their jersey on, or else they're going to ignore you. You had no chance. And today it's almost expected from the children to be able to go to these card shows, and they don't realize what $200 is for a Jose Canseco autograph. I mean, it wasn't $200, but they don't realize the monetary money that's flowing through all the systems. So, I mean, what I'd like to see from the hobby is more stuff for the kids. I don't care if they don't sign my autograph, but sign the 11-year-old, sign the kid who is crying, and I think the challenge is that not only from the card market becoming a big online e-commerce type of play, but the autograph market has gotten to be kind of crazy.
Well, Don, I love autographs. So I've collected autographs since I was 13. I've been to the National many times, been to several different shows, getting autographs in person. Some I've met a lot of people over time. Yeah. And even with COVID going on, autographs have changed to where now it's more of an send-in environment. Yeah. So if I want Don Caruso's autograph, I may fill out a form, send a jersey in or a ball in or your rookie card in. I send that in, I wait 6 to 8 weeks, and they send it back to me. Yeah. But that experience of shaking your hand, talking to you about when I saw your first game or what you meant to me growing up, or if I'm a child, what you mean to me right now in the sport, that's just not there too much anymore. So you have shows like what was in Santa Clara. You have the National, which is going to have over 100 some athletes there. You have opportunities like that. But I believe there's going to be, like even in the Bay Area, and there's been down here in LA and in San Diego, and across the country, there are some smaller shows that have athletes come in and sign and be around people and experience them. I think you're going to see more of that.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, one of the best things that I've done, my son, when he was probably 8 years old, again, we're huge Seahawks fans, so crush me later on if you guys want. But, we held our own over the last 15 years. We got a chance to meet Russell Wilson, and it was a $200.
Oh, really?
It was right. It was like 2016. Russell Wilson just came off the Super Bowls, and it was so cool. My son drew him a document and gave him like a little card, drew him with his dogs and stuff that he likes. And he went to the point and actually recorded on his Instagram page the whole interaction, and it blew up. So, I mean, those are the types of things that I want to see more. And that's what I'm hoping from the hobby moving forward is there are so many people focused on the money, and you might accuse me of that too, trying to sell scanners right now on this, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, the hobby's about the kids, and we want to protect the hobby and make sure it goes on longer than we're around. And, I think that's a big part of what I'm trying to do with all of this.
It's a huge part of it too. And sometimes I get with other collectors, people in the hobby, investors, flippers, whoever. And we talk about, well, how do you get more kids involved? So when I started with cars, I think a lot of people around my same age started buying cars at retail.
Yeah.
I didn't see a hobby store. I can't remember how old I was, but it wasn't when I first started collecting.
I know that growing up between the ages of 5 and 8, we had Capitol Comics and Cards in San Jose, and it was right next to the Toys R Us. Mm-hmm. So we would go to Toys R Us and buy our G.I. Joes and our Transformers, take them into the card shop and try to trade them for, whatever the card of the month or whatever the packs were. Unfortunately, growing up in the late 80s and early 90s was the junk wax era, so ain't nothing worth anything during that time. But I do have a lot of G.I. Joes and Transformers, though, so That is a
And
positive take home from
those
that.
are worth something.
Those are worth some money. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that's how I started though. I was going into, my brother was in high school. Right next to the high school was a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
That's why I picked up all of Jerry Rice's rookie year cards.
Yeah.
And opening packs. This is back in the day where athlete had one rookie card.
Yep.
It may be another rookie card from another company, but the hobby still almost kind of picked one as the rookie card. Those cards, a lot of them were hard to find in good condition. You take them out the pack, they're all center, or they're chipped on the edges, or corner bent.
Yep.
And those are the ones that today, if they're in a very nice grade, you're still gonna get some value out of that.
But even back then, if you were to take that card to like a flea market, the value of the Rice cards through 80s through the 90s held to $150 to $200 you can get for a raw card.
Yes.
Whereas today a raw card's probably much less. And you know, the grading companies have really drove the prices ever since one of the worst things for the hobby, it might be one of the best for some people, might have been the Beckett collectible magazines.
True.
That started to come out and started giving prices based off their opinion. Now they're super reputable. We love Beckett. But, you know, at the end of the day, they were a big influencer as to drive up the needle, drive down a needle. I mean, heck, I remember getting Greg Jefferies, you know, on the Mets, his rookie card, and thinking like, oh, he's the next greatest thing. And, you know, what is it worth 10 cents today? You know, so it just really, the market continues to change, whether it was from the 80s to the 90s to today. And we want to continue to see that market grow, especially for the kids. I mean,
but I think I'm saying all this to say is that I think there's going to be a plan in place for how do you get kids involved in a market where you have national treasures, flawless, and some of these brands that are quite expensive that are not for children.
You're not.
Yeah. How do you get children involved? There has to be sometimes maybe the Monopoly Prism basketball at Target.
Yeah.
To get someone to come in, open a few packs, and get some out and be like,
or they got to start inserting some low-end autographs or special cards on the cards that you can buy at Target. I mean, you know, you go in and buy a pack of cards at Target, you know, you're not going to get anybody any good at this point. So, you know, it's tough to go out and say, hey, Vinny, I'm going to go out and spend $200 on a box of cards. You're going to get 3. He would rather buy a pack of cards at Target and get 12.
Yes.
You know, like, you know, for $5, he doesn't know any different.
So I had fun this weekend. I went to a new store in Glendale called Blue Sports Cards, owned by Armin Blue, who is well known in the hobby. And we went. I don't even open packs. So we found one box of Prism basketball, Monopoly. I opened that, and then we got Junior a few packs of Pokemon. He opened that. But just the excitement that was in his face was interesting because I haven't opened cards in like 20-some years, really. Like really open.
Yeah.
We opened some Score sometime like a year or so ago on the channel. But like really opening stuff with them. We opened one Hoops box. But I think it shocked me that now that he's 7, really 7.5 almost, the excitement that was on his face. We rolled away. I was like, you know, we'll probably do this again.
Yeah.
Get a box and sit down and open it and see what we have.
One of the funnest things, it was funny, last month I took my son didn't even last, but a couple weeks ago, we went to Disneyland and we stopped by Burbank. My son immediately gravitated to the $1 packs, the stuff from your and my age. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, son, like, you got a whole store full of cool cards, and why are you going to? Because he knows all the baseball players back then. Part of it's from getting the MLB The Show video game, you know, where you can play Jeter and all these other guys. So he's looking for the Jeters and the Piazzas in the $1 packs. I'm like, you can buy as many of those as you want, no problem.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I know exactly what you're talking about. Have you had a chance to watch the new King Golden show on Netflix?
No, we were talking about that here this morning. I plan to this week.
It's good. It's very good.
I heard good things about it.
Yeah. It's, you know, I think it brings a different perspective to those who don't understand the hobby. You know, and it's really from the business perspective. There's not a lot of education going on there. It's about money. It's simple as that, right? And I think that what the show really does show is the passion for the people in the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a kid come in who got some. It was an F1 card, I forget, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton. Okay.
And he pulled it out of a pack that was like $15, and it's $1 million card, and it's life changing, selling these things. So it's really good show. It's 6 episodes, half hour each. It goes pretty fast, but I enjoyed myself. It was well done.
I'll check it out. Maybe I'll start tonight.
Yeah, blow through it all.
I saw the premieres in 2 cities. I'm gonna put my research in on what's going on.
I don't know about. Yeah, I watched the next morning. It was like 3 hours worth of while I'm up eating breakfast type of thing. So.
Zerny asked a question here. No, let me get to it. Does the software have to be updated yearly or subscription with the scanner?
Yeah, so the scanner. No, the scanner out of the box, what you pay for, you own. So the software in the box, which is a capture software that allows you to see the image of whatever you scan, is free in the box. Now, our third-party company partners, Chronosio and Card Dealer Pro, are both subscription offerings. So they both have multiple levels of subscription that you could take a look at. Actually, this Wednesday, we're doing a webinar on my website with Chronosio that goes into it in pretty good detail. So if you're interested in their software, come then. And then next month, we're hosting one with Card Dealer Pro. So you'll be able to get the best of both worlds in the next 30 days if you really were interested.
Okay. Richard Dent, Dexall. You remember when Richard Dent left the Bears?
Yeah.
Oh, that's knowledge right there. Most people don't know that.
49er. He was a 49er for 1 year, I think, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Not that long.
Yeah. Great
player. He was a player. Zerny, Merton Hanks, big hitter, loved the Merton celebration, the neck. Long neck.
Yeah, the long neck. That's right.
Dexwell, thank God Timberwolves were big Laker fans. That trade helped them out.
Yeah, that was an interesting trade. That was an uh-oh moment for the rest of us all in the league. You brought them back from the dead.
Dexwell says LA Laker Wolves in 6, huh? They're playing Golden State, though, Dexwell. You do know that.
It's going to go 6 or 7, I think, though.
Oh, yeah. I think
they're going to trade some blows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angie, sorry, this might be out of context, but who is the next Raptors head coach? I saw somebody said Luke Walton. Is that true? Luke Walton got a job?
Oh, really?
Wow. I know he's been in the league. He's been an assistant for a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to Google that.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. Don't say anything about it yet. That's interesting. Luke Walton is there. I can't believe the Raptors' last coach left, but maybe that was on both sides.
They're one of those struggling franchises, They build up their draft picks, get good players in, and then it's like the Oakland A's. They can't hold on to them.
Yeah. Well, I believe certain organizations, I hate to say this, almost like the farm clubs of other bigger market teams.
Yeah.
And it's Raptors was that before Kawhi got there and they won a championship.
Yep.
But I still want to say that you had 2 major players get hurt and you won a championship.
Yeah.
What's the odds of that?
That's luck. Because KD and a healthy KD and a healthy Clay, they don't beat the Warriors. No way.
No, they were supposed to win much more. So, but that's how it goes. I was watching some clips today. Draymond was talking about his thoughts on Sabonis. Sabonis didn't shake hands, kind of.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so Draymond was talking about how he left when they lost to the Cavs, went to his locker, sat down, and was like, "I should really be out there shaking hands." Went back out and shook hands.
Yeah, that's the respectful thing to do.
I would think
that's what should be done. But they're young; they're still learning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate Sacramento.
No, I don't either. I don't think there's anybody on that team that I can actually hate.
Yeah,
I actually gained a lot of respect for the De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, same here. It's not like they played Memphis or something, and you got to deal with Ja and what's that power forward that can't shut up?
Dylan Brooks. Yeah,
Dylan Brooks. Yeah.
Zerny, I'm trying to see Jerome Bettis at a show. I haven't been to a big show in a while. He used to sign a lot at the National. He would also show up at the Chantilly show.
Yep.
So just keep your eyes peeled. I haven't really seen Bettis in a while, but he's a regular signer.
Keep an eye on the Detroit shows as well. I thought I saw him in a Motor City one that was recent, but he's out there. He actually, look at. There's some websites that give you addresses to players through the mail, and he owns a couple. I think it's a car dealership or something, and a couple people I saw got his autograph through mailing it in. Worth a shot.
Yeah, Bettis is Detroit's own. He's pretty humble, down to earth guy.
Yep,
I can see that happen. Tom, good evening, friends and fellow cardboard enthusiasts, collectors, and connoisseurs. Tom, thank you for being here. Ziggy is in the house. Ziggy, what's up? Thumbs up, sir. I enjoyed the Golden Series collectibles are going next. Love the Dream Team jersey story.
Yeah, that story behind that was crazy. Like how everybody just afterwards just threw it into a big pile, and one person was smart enough to grab everything.
Oh yeah,
and that person's gonna make millions of dollars from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that team was something special in the history of everything.
Oh yeah, best team ever created.
Yes. That joy of Junior's face is what it's all about. My son's in Cali going to college, so I miss our cardboard adventures. I know you obviously treasure it, but make mental notes and pics because of fond memories. So when we first started the channel, Junior was what? Almost 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago. So Junior was young. Junior was about 5. And I used to always say, like, we want to get you we want to start bringing you out. And he was like, when are you going to bring me out? And then I would talk to him about how we engage people, how we shake hands. We would practice stuff at home. We talk about different things. But he's a game changer to me. Greg, when I was talking about this last time we was out, is that when Junior comes out, he brings a certain kind of energy. And I really enjoy how at his age, he can kind of get into what's going on around him. I think he's more advanced in that area. People may look at me and say, "Oh no, you were probably." I was a little bit shyer when I was young, compared to Junior. And Junior's, and we talk about it here at home. It might be because he sees me out talking to people now. My parents are a little bit more reserved. More. I would say probably more homebodies or only around family and certain people, really, most of the time. But I like to get out, and I've always been like that. I kind of like to get out and talk to people and do different things. But it's always interesting to see him doing, like when I wasn't even collecting baseball cards yet.
Yeah.
When I was 7, wasn't even doing that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I knew about him, but it wasn't collecting. It was like you're lucky enough for your dad to buy you something, right? It's crazy. Like, I was a people watcher for the last day of the Burbank show.
Oh, okay.
I just was watching people, and there were kids with these briefcases going.
Oh yeah, they know what they're doing.
Trying to sell stuff, and I'm like, wow, like I mean, the cojones these kids got to go up.
I was in a card store on Saturday. Kid came in with his guardian. Was trying to sell some cards, broke some cards out. Was trying to trade, make a deal. This kid had to be 10 or 11.
The life skills,
exactly what he had, though.
Well, and that's what's cool. The hobby is creating life skills. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how many people are going to pull out a TI-82 calculator and do math on it, but I do know you're going to need negotiation skills at some point in your life.
That's
right? For anything that you do, buying a car, buying a house, and the tools that this hobby. I watched my son and his friend. We went to the card show, and they have the Collects app. So they go around and they're taking pictures, and they'll turn around and they'll look at me like, "Dad, do you think I can get that $20 card for 15?" I'm like, "Well, ask."
Talk it up. Always
9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10.
The price on a card is just a negotiation.
Yeah. People are super cool. I mean, most people at shows and events will say, "Yeah, take it for whatever." And oh, by the way, here's a pack of cards. Thanks for that.
Don, let me give you an update, brother. Philly just beat Boston.
Really?
119 to 115.
No Embiid.
I told people.
Yeah.
I'm not even making this up. I told people Boston is not who you think they are.
No.
And this team they have the talent. They have Maxey. They have James Harden, who's about to do an interview. Oh man. Oh wow. Harden had 45 points tonight.
Wow. He's been reserved in the last couple weeks too.
But that's what you got to do.
Harden.
That's what you got to do when your big man go out.
Yep.
You got to become that old James Harden back in Houston.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm proud of. I'm happy for him. He saw his draft mate do something yesterday. He had 45 points, 7 of 30 shooting, 6 assists.
That's a big game.
I'm happy for him.
You got.
I think Harden. I don't know. I just look at him and I think he's misunderstood in one way, and I think he has gotten lost in. I'm in Houston. I'm MVP. I'm in the club.
Yeah.
I think people got to realize you got to sacrifice on some ends to be successful on the other end. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, and you got to love the city of Philly too, right? Like nothing against the city of Boston. They're two great cities, but there's something about going to Philly that
I agree.
Is special. It's not just the cheesesteaks. I love the cheesesteaks.
Oh, yeah.
So what are you, a Pats, AJ?
I've been to Pats before. I went one time. Went to Philly in 2003. Went to Pats. I went to the museum where, Rocky running up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw the first White House. Went to the Liberty Bell. Did all of that.
Yeah, I remember I didn't walk up all the steps of Rocky. I drove around back and then pretended like I walked up the steps. And
we ran up. It was me and another person kind of raced up.
Man, that's hardcore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was having fun, man. Yep. Reliving that moment. Because that scene, I don't know if you know this. I forgot what the name of the camera is, but the camera that's strapped to you.
Yeah.
And it shows motion.
Yeah.
They built the first version of that camera for that scene.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kick something new off of Hollywood.
That is true. Learn something new every day when you're rolling with FD.
That's how we roll.
Cheesesteaks, camera lens. What else we gonna learn today?
Tell me now, when you think of tell me about some of your favorite. You talked about Dwight. You talked about Clark.
Yeah.
Tell me some of you. We talked a little bit about Steph. Who are some athletes when you think about them, either from your youth or present? You think like that athlete was special?
Oh wow. So for baseball, it was one guy. It was Will Clark. I mean, I've said this on a million podcasts. We don't need to talk about that anymore. Basketball, I was always a Timmy Hardaway fan.
I could see it.
I was a big Run DMC fan. Like I had Mullen jerseys. I had Hardaway jerseys. Our Hoop It Up basketball team was called Run DMC. We all wore different Mullen jerseys and Hardaway jerseys. So I was a big Warrior fan back in the day. And then from a football perspective, being a Seahawks fan, Steve Largent was my favorite growing up. Remember the guy that took all of his titles, which is the best receiver, took it all from the guy named Steve Largent. Mm-hmm. But, coming up with the Seahawks, of course, I lived all the Super Bowl years, but even in the 90s, like Cortez Kennedy, Monster, Jacob Green, Jeff Bryant, Dave Brown, all these guys, like back in the day, if you're a true and blue Seahawks fan, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Those, when I look back at some of the jerseys and stuff that I have in my cabinets and stuff here, it's all 80s, 90s ball players, so yeah, it's I huge fan of. I followed mostly baseball and football and the Warriors of course as well. Hockey, I'm a fair weather guy. Like I'll pay attention to the Sharks when they're in the playoffs and couldn't tell you who's on the teams.
You mentioned Cortez Kennedy.
Yeah.
Phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Got to take a moment for Cortez Kennedy. University of Miami.
Died way too soon.
Too soon. I just looked him up. I was like, man, he said Cortez Kennedy.
I don't even think he was 50 before he passed.
48 years old.
48 years old. Sad. And I mean, say what you want. That's a guy that can play in any era, at any time, and dominate. I mean, the Seahawks were 2-14 in what year was it? 1990 or 91? He won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Who's going to win Defensive Player on a year with a team that wins 2 games? But they did beat the Raiders both those 2 games, I think. So
yes, Kennedy was something else. You named Tim Hardaway. I grew up. Tim Hardaway's older than me, but I grew up probably less than 3 miles away from where he's from.
Really? That's awesome. I finally got a chance to meet Tim Hardaway at the National. I paid paid for the autograph, and he was actually walking by our booth. And I was like, Timmy, and he stopped and took a picture with me as well. So that was
he's a cool person, man.
Really nice guy. He doesn't look like what he used to in the past. He doesn't walk as well, and I mean it's all the years on his knees probably, but great guy. Awesome ball player. I mean, nobody has the killer crossover.
No.
Was it the two-step? So nobody does it better than him.
And so, his son now plays with the Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks, yeah.
So when I lived in Detroit, his son was at Michigan, so I saw his son play in college.
Yeah. He was all right in college.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to be bigger than what he was, but he's a role player almost now.
He's a role player. He shoots at 3.
Yeah. Yep.
He shot it at 52%, which is crazy when Kyrie showed.
Yep.
I think that's crazy.
Yep.
But that's how sports go. There's so many different layers and connections. And you talk about Cortez Kennedy. That's just I loved him as growing up. Looking at line, just how he played and how he disrupted.
It's just too bad we didn't have Dan McGuire, Kelly Stauffer, and all these other yahoos at quarterback to make them a decent team. They always have. Seattle's always had a great defense.
What do you think is up with Wilson now with his performance with the Broncos? I've been telling people that he's playing hurt, injuries, something's going on.
Something's going on. I actually probably think it's probably some weird personal thing going on. Because it's hard when you watch his Instagram and all these other pages, and it just seems fake, right? Like, and I don't know, up until about 3 years ago, I probably would have never said that about him, but there's something going on, it seems like, in his personal life and it's equating on the field. I think he's still has the potential to be a top 10 quarterback. I think you're going to see a different Russell Wilson this year with Sean Payton in charge.
I would hope so because I don't think Peyton came in to play games.
No. So, I mean, for me, with all of my autographs and my rookie cards, I'm hoping that he has a bounce back year. We'll forever be grateful to Russell Wilson and Sherman and all those boys who won us the Super Bowl.
Do you think Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer?
I do.
I do as well.
I do. I mean, you look at his record. I mean, you look at his playoff record and some of the big games that he came back and was instrumental for. I'm not a believer when people say that the Legion of Boom was the only reason why we won all those playoff games, during that period of time. They're a huge part of it. They're one of the top 3 or 4 greatest defenses of all time, in my opinion, right up there with the Bears, with the Ravens, some of those Steeler defenses. It's hard to argue that they're not. When you beat the highest scoring offensive team in history and only allow 8 points, you have to put them up there. But what they did with Marshawn and those 2 no-name receivers, which always stepped up in big games, Baldwin and Curse. Mm-hmm. I think Russ is. I mean, he might not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think he deserves to be in there.
Oh, I think he'll be in. If that's not the case, my barometer now. My barometer has changed over the years. I'm gonna say this: my barometer of Hall of Fame is, now his name just Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Are you better than Donovan McNabb?
Well, it sure is interesting when you look at the last couple of years of who has made the NFL Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. You scratch your head sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like Willie McGinnis, good football player. He ain't better than Donovan McNabb, though, in my opinion. Some of these
Willie McGinnis. Sometimes I think about the politics. I used to ignore this.
Yeah.
Willie McGinnis is one of the first Patriot players to go in.
Yep.
If you notice, they still been holding out some Raider players from back in the day.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised Seymour got in, but Ty Law.
But Seymour also.
Ty Law was a good corner, but was he like? To me, you got to, in order to get to the Hall of Fame for multiple years, talking 2 or 3, you have to be considered the best player at your position.
No, you're talking like Deion Sanders. Deion said that there should be an upper room.
Yeah.
To the Hall of Fame. Like if everybody else's jacket is gold, your jacket got to be like something. Got to be something.
Yeah, I agree. Because especially in the last 5 years, when you see who's made the Hall of Fame, they're letting people who weren't even the best in their okay. Why hasn't Sean Alexander made the Hall of Fame? He was the best in it outside of LT for 2 or 3 years. He was the best at his position.
I love me Sean Alexander.
you know, but I will be honest, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but in today's standards,
Let me see how many total yards he had.
oh,
He had 9,453.
I was going to say close to 10,000.
He had 100 touchdowns. You know, they gave an exemption to Terrell Davis, who had about a little over 7,000,
right,
because of his injury.
But he was out. He was out of the league, I think, at 28 or so, you know, because of his foot problems.
He has a case. He played 9 seasons.
Yep.
He has a case.
You know, then you get into the conversations with, you know, like Frank Gore. You know, great running back, but was he ever the best at his position? People are saying he's an automatic Hall of Famer.
Frank Gore is one of those athletes like CP3. Frank Gore has longevity on his side.
He has longevity.
He has a longevity and a consistency about himself.
Yeah.
He's going to put up numbers.
Yeah. He'll make the Hall of Fame, but he was never considered the top 3 or 4 player any year he played.
He's miraculous because he's had multiple knee surgeries on both knees.
Yes, exactly.
And he still ran the football. So.
Yep. I met him at a car wash. I was actually sitting waiting for my car, and he came and sat right next to me, and I looked and was like, "You're Frank Gore." He's like, "Yeah." Super nice guy. I'm rooting for him. Wish he makes the Hall of Fame, but at the end of the day, I'm with Deion Sanders. I think there needs to be an elite class and then there's nobody else, and we got to take 10 players.
Well, I'll say if you name Deion, Barry Sanders, Charles Haley, Warren Sapp, to me, I'm just naming some people off.
Yep. Ray
Lewis. You Brady's gonna go in.
Damian Tomlinson.
Yeah. You start naming these people, it's like those people are different.
Yes.
Some other people that are going to the Hall. But the NFL is not like baseball. NFL, I think, has so many players or coaches that they want to put in.
Right.
And baseball is very restrictive on who's actually going to get in this thing. And baseball will even opt to have no one go in or one person go in.
Right.
Before they have 12 people walking through that door.
So are you a guy that believes Bonds and Clemens and all these guys should be or shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame in baseball?
I think they should be.
Me too.
I think. I mean, some people may say, "FD, you're very real," but I just think that a lot of athletes are doing something.
Well, and remember, was it legal or illegal at the time when they were doing something?
It wasn't. There's no positive drug test on Bonds or McGuire.
So I don't know. I think when you look back at that era and you remember Mark McGuire and you remember Sammy Sosa and Roger Clemens, you remember for what they do on the field. It's the media that's trying to discredit them.
Well, you got to think Kurt Schilling's not in because of some statements he made. Yeah,
that's true.
Kurt Schilling got asked to leave ESPN because of some statements he made.
Yeah. It's the media. The media controls who gets these things. And the fact that Bonds, I mean, I can understand Pete Rose, even though I think that that's BS as well.
I think that is.
I can understand that. I don't understand Barry. That's the greatest ball player. Juicing or not juicing, that dude's the bit. He and Ken Griffey Jr., nobody better than them playing the sport.
But, people say to me sometimes, well, FD, how do you believe that Pete Rose should be in? Paul Hornung, who played running back, basically did the same thing Pete Rose did.
Yeah.
But in football, they don't ban you for life. He got suspended
and just remember, they're the only ones who got caught.
Yeah.
I guarantee you 90% of the players right now are betting on something.
Well,
whether it's fantasy football or poker or whatever.
We just had some players get suspended for placing bets from a team facility.
Yeah.
In the NFL. So
it's silly.
And if I'm in a fantasy football league with you and I paid $150 or $2,000 or $5,000 to get in, when I start moving my teams around and I'm sitting on the training table, am I down in my bed?
You were betting.
I'm betting.
You sure are. Yep.
So
yeah.
Are they checking my websites with my IP addresses? Like, oh man, if he's dead and he's getting his ankle taped?
Yep. It's all about enjoying the sport, right? Like if you enjoy the sport, if you watch these players and they moved you, and then they were the top 2 or 3 in their years that they played, they should be in the Hall. I don't care if I don't care about the 10-person football thing. That's ridiculous. I mean, there are some years, especially in the last 5, maybe 2 or 3 people should have went in with an old person vote, one of the older timers. But yeah, what's going on today is pure on media coverage.
I think it's funny that Deion's one of the only people that say that.
Well, because he's the best to ever play that position. He has the right. He's arguably the best defensive player. What, him and LT?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and he'll prefer to LT.
Yeah, he would prefer to LT. I mean, they are the best 2 players to ever play, and it's interesting. I say this about like some of these travel baseball teams is that will add multiple squads to their baseball team just to keep kids going. Sometimes you're a detriment to the brand. If you put out a product and they're 0-15, nobody's going to want to come to your A and your B teams, right? And it's the same thing with, the Hall. Like as soon as you start diluting it with a little above average players, you get to the point where nobody's going to start going to the Hall of Fame game. People aren't going to go pay the prices to go to the Hall of Fame in Canton. They'd rather pay the money to go to Chantilly's sports card show and pay the $150 to meet the player that they actually like.
Hey, that's where it's at for me. At least I get a chance to get up there, have some time, ask a question, have a conversation about something.
Yep.
I always think that's super fun.
Yep. Same here.
What else did I want to ask you? When we talk about GOAT, when we talk about NBA GOATness, who comes to your mind?
Jordan.
Oh.
It starts and ends with Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, with all due respect to LeBron James, if you haven't watched Jordan play and didn't grow up in that area,
there really is no comparison.
There is no comparison.
Again, I think LeBron, great player. I like him a lot.
He's a top 3 or 4 player, but I mean, you still got Kobe up there. Kareem, Shaq. I mean, let's not forget the most dominant player to ever play this game is Shaq.
True.
I mean, outside of Yao Ming, there's nobody in the world that could have guarded him.
Mm-hmm. But since we're on this, I do this sometimes. Let me read you my top 10.
All right. This should be interesting.
Let you know that I get controversial, right? LeBron James, I have at 11. But
wow.
Let me read you the top 10. I have Shaq at 12.
Really?
Yeah. So only because of longevity.
Okay.
We know Shaq can play at that top level for. So I have Will Chamberlain at 10, Steph Curry at 9, which I think this was made about 15 months ago.
It's Ferry's in the top 10 now.
Yeah. I got Tim Duncan at 8, Hakeem the Dream at 7, Bill Russell at 6, Kobe at 5, Kareem at 4, Magic at 3, Oscar Robertson I have higher than most people at 2, and I have Jordan at 1.
Yeah, I think I agree with your top 5. Maybe Oscar's maybe a little high.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people will substitute that. You got the king a little low.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, that's why people have their own list, right?
Every list is the personal list. And then under that, I have Shaq at 12, Kevin Durant at 13, Larry Bird at 14, Jerry West at 15.
Gary Payton? You have Gary Payton. Does he sniff the list?
No.
GP growing up in the 90s?
Gary Payton in my top 30.
Wow. Okay.
But he is up. Notice I don't have a lot of guards in this. I got John Stockton. I got John Havlicek at a forward. I got Allen Iverson. I don't have a lot of guards. So when it comes to guards, I still think GP is pretty high.
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever sat down and actually drawn up a list. But for me, it's a little challenging if I haven't seen the players play in person, right? Like,
yeah, I hear people say that.
So like Oscar Robertson on film is great, but can he play in today's game? Probably. But I don't know because I had never got to sit and I was at Jordan's Warrior game in Oakland when they were 72-10 and just watching him put up 45 points against Latrell Sprewell. Like, all right, this man's a bad man.
Yeah.
It's different when you watch the players. So, for me, most of that would start around the mid 80s and the Bird Magic, Kareem days. And then you move to the Jordan, and then it's Jordan for a long period of time. Scottie Pippen's got to be up there in the top 25, I would say.
I got Scottie at 22.
Yeah, about right. But I mean, I for me, it's probably Jordan 1, Kobe 2, Shaq 3.
Yeah.
You know, and then I would probably think about putting LeBron at 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm not a huge LeBron fan. I mean, I respect what he does. He's a terrific ball player. But there's something about losing all those championships that you lose. You're
either on one side of the fence or the other.
Yeah.
Some people never bring that up.
Yep.
And then they're huge LeBron fans. And then other people bring that up. And they're, I would say, a realist of basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have the blinders on. They're looking, saying, okay, the East was pretty weak. LeBron wielded some of those things to get to the finals, which is a huge accomplishment. Right. LeBron beat a team that won 73 games, which is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. But did he make the people around him better? What's the guy that passed the ball in the backcourt the one year when he had a call the timeout on the Cavaliers? I'm blanking on his name.
J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith, thank you. Yeah. I mean, was he making the players around him better? One
thing we can say about LeBron, and I don't know if this is a knock on LeBron or LeBron, just in general. Mm-hmm. LeBron's going to make sure that he has a squad around him.
Yes.
Well, when I drive, I throw the ball out to Don. Don is a 42% three-point shooter.
Yep.
Don's out there just waiting. Go ahead and collapse down.
Yep.
Then you're shooting. I mean, he knows that personnel. But if you come in and you're a guard, notice this. If you're Isaiah Thomas, there's several guards we can name. If you're even Kyrie, you should be shooting the ball probably less.
Right.
And you should be giving me the ball probably more. And if you're around and you want to shoot too much, then we need to get you out.
I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, to me, I think, and I might be crazy for thinking this, but I would take KD over LeBron all day, every day.
KD is fierce.
All day, every day. And maybe even put KD in the top 5. Because maybe somewhere up there. I mean, what he's done, he only has the one championship. So everything that I just talked about winning championship.
Oh, he has 2. Yeah, he won 2.
He has 2. He has 2. That's right. He has 2.
I had KD at 13 right behind Shaq.
Yep.
I had him right above Larry Bird.
Yep. I mean, and that's the thing to me is that, there's Jordan. He's like 1A and B and C. And then we start talking about the 2s.
You know what's funny, though? I always think about Kevin Durant. To me, Kevin Durant, his personality type, which I find nothing wrong with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think everybody needs to know everything about you because you play a sport.
Right.
But he's almost more suited to be an 80s and 90s player from that perspective than to be a player today.
Yeah.
Like, you think about what Steph does when he's in front of the camera and how he presents himself. And I'm not saying that's the only way to do it. Yeah. But I'm just saying, you look at that guy and then you look at a LeBron and even a KD. KD keeps most people at 20 feet away. Like, you can't. He's not even going to let you really get up in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that hurts him in a hobby. And I think it hurts him when people think about the connection between them and their favorite player. We've never seen a 7-footer with handles that can shoot the ball like KD.
Like a guard, yeah.
There's nobody. I remember when he came out, everybody said, well, what is he going to play? Because he's not a 2 or 3.
Yeah.
He's KD.
He's KD.
Just like when Garnett came out, everybody said the same thing. He's not a small forward or power. So what are you going to do? But he's Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
So he makes it. He's going to make this work. And then when these guys perfected that mid-range, which is lost in the game today, they just become totally different people. So Durant, I think, would do better from a basketball standpoint and relating to his followers or his supporters or his fans probably back in the day instead of the social media day.
Yeah, I totally agree with that statement. I mean, when you look at KD's like cards and his autographs today, it's cheap relatively.
Doesn't make
sense. I just saw one for sale the other day for like $200, an autograph of his. And
he just brought to it. He's 7 foot, 7'1". He just brought the ball before, played point guard.
Yeah,
and he took it to the middle of the court and dumped it to a person in the post.
Yep.
I mean, that's what he does.
Yep. No, he's. I mean, I don't. It's hard to say he's not at least a top 10, or 15 at the very least. There's so many good players. I mean, it's just crazy. I wonder how much where you live really impacts your grading of the top 10 or 15. Because again, you talk to someone in New York, they're going to have Isaiah, Patrick Ewing, maybe somewhere in the top 25, I would imagine. You go to Boston, it's going to be Larry Bird in the top 3 every single time, and maybe even Tatum right now making the top 25 list of some kind. It's really based upon, to me, it's just really hard looking at people that I've never seen play. And I'm no expert. We're not. This is an ESPN. These are all opinions. So
yeah. And believe me, you listen to them enough, they're giving their opinion.
Stephen A is all over the place lately. I don't know if
I think I don't know what's going on. A couple of people have hit me up and asked me, "Hey man, what do you think about what Stephen A just said?"
Yeah,
when he said Kawhi is the worst rated player, I was like, "Come on, man."
Yeah, he didn't need to go there. Did you see JJ Redick's response?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with JJ. I didn't even play basketball, but I'm an athlete. I played football. But come on, man.
Yeah.
If any one of us tear a knee up, and then that's how you come at the guy, he was still out here trying to put his team on his back.
Yeah, I mean, he still tried to play. He played the first 2 games.
He could have said, "No, you know what? I'm gonna hold out for next year."
Yeah,
I'm gonna wait. I'm not putting my body on the line. I'm not.
No,
he didn't do that. And I can't even blame Paul George. The way I saw he got hurt, the way his leg bent back. I can't fault them guys. It just happened that way.
Well, and let's face it, we all know they would have had a difficult challenge getting past the Lakers, the Warriors, the Denver. Good luck with all those teams, even if they.
And then the Clippers came out right after the season and said, "Well, hey, we're going to stay with these guys.
We
have to. They're under contract.
Yep, they don't have a choice.
Stay with them. You got to support them." I appreciated the immediate to kill all this. I appreciated that, but you have to.
Yep.
And this is how sports goes. A lot of people say, "Well, if." I always tell people on Instagram or in person or anywhere, there is no if in sports.
Yeah.
There is no if that this person didn't get hurt, or if that guy had never hit that shot, or if this young lady didn't get that offensive foul. It went down and it happened. We have to, if Steph were, like someone said to me, well, there was no defense applied yesterday. There was more defense yesterday in that game than when Kobe scored 81.
Yeah, I'd agree.
There was a lot of people just watching stuff when Kobe scored 81.
Nobody really understands how hard it is to guard a guy like Steph. When the guy's just throwing up 3-pointers from half court and nailing them half the time.
Well, when he's running, it's like yesterday. He had 20 in the first half, 30 in the second. He had a 14 and a 16 quarter in the second half. So he's ran you into the ground.
Yep.
Your diet better be impeccable. I can only imagine what this guy eats.
Yeah, I can't imagine. The stamina of these guys is just ridiculous.
And this is where you go from consistent to a good player to a great player.
Yeah.
And really you start getting the greatness and goatness in what you do. When you really start putting the polish on the wood at the end of your career and making sure that this thing shines right for into the last book of your career. What do people read? What are people talking about? And that's what Steph's doing right now.
Yeah.
Steph is erasing right now. He's on a dry erase for it. Erasing all the KD talk.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he couldn't do it without KD. I told someone this year when he wins a championship, all that's out the window. Oh, he couldn't do it without KD. Oh, he needed KD to come down. They've already said, oh, he's never played LeBron without KD, but he played LeBron without KD in 2015.
Yeah, well look at that. I mean, last year they did it without. I mean, they did it with Wiggins,
and now he's gonna go through LeBron to get that ring. What are people talking about after that?
Yep.
And I've noticed too. This is another thing I've noticed, Don, that after that game yesterday, it's like crickets when you talk about Steph Curry.
Oh yeah.
Anymore.
There's not a lot of smack talk going around.
A lot of people eating humble pie right now.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Very much so. Let me see if I have another question for you here. We got to have you back on.
I would love to be on as many times as you would like.
Your knowledge of sports is on another level.
Oh, thank you.
And you have experience, like you've lived through this stuff. You have seen and experienced different things. I love having conversations with people who can take me. We start talking about your product, and we can go anywhere with it. Talking about the youth of the hobby. This is very important, and one thing I want to talk to you about. You're a professional, been through school. If you went to school or not, you're a professional of life. You've had a job. You have children. You've done different things. I know you coach, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Research, Don.
Thank you.
So give people some advice who may be looking for, they're trying to start a professional career
that's
anywhere. And they want to know a few things about some things that they could probably think about or employ in order to take the next steps in their career.
God, that's a great question. In college, I was a history major. I grew up wanting to teach people. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a history teacher because my favorite mentor growing up in high school was a history major, or was a history teacher named Mr. Giannini. And he's long passed since at this point, but I would say never give up and never think outside. I mean, it's cliche, right? But never think outside yourself. I did not know going through college that I was going to, number one, getting a degree, being the first in the family with the Caruso last name was a big deal. And even though it's in a major that, one isn't going to say you're going to make $100,000 coming right out of college on, to me, it felt like that. And I was a guy I paid for my own way through school. I worked 40 hours a week at Walgreens. I've been working since 16 years old, 40 plus hours a week my entire life. Mm-hmm. And I think work ethic is probably the biggest thing that today is taken for granted. I see people that graduate college. I'm also someone who hires, I'm being the head of sales operations and service sales here at Fujitsu, or at Ricoh. I need to stop saying the Fujitsu word. I've hired a ton of people in my career over the 20 years that I've been a vice president and other things. And one of the things that I see in today's world is that people kind of take things for granted. They expect that, they're being told by teachers coming out of college that, well, you're going to be a manager and you're going to make $120,000 a year coming right out of it. Like, no, you need to work for it. So there's something about work ethic and believing that you can be kind of more than what you are on a piece of paper. So, I've kind of went from this guy in high school that barely made grades and was late every day because I went to Taco Bell for my teachers, to this guy now running part of an organization and sitting here on a phone with the famous FD, right? Talking sports and everything. And it's great. Like, the people that you meet in life mean everything. A lot of times you meet people, you get a job and a career because of who and just remember to be a good person. There's a lot of instances where people can kind of take an angry approach or say, I'm not going to talk to you for the rest of my life if someone burns you. Believe me, I've been burned a lot in my life, especially recently. Being in the baseball world with my son, it's a brutal sport. Travel baseball is brutal. My son recently got injured, and he's been out for probably the last 5 or 6 months now. He's still out, could be out the entire year, injured one of his tendons, and his team that he was with for the last 5 years cut him. Now, you're talking about a kid that was higher up in the batting order, your number 2 defensive player, 4th pitcher on the team, lefty, throwing mid-50s at 10 years old, and you're cutting him along with his friends.
No, this is part of sports that people don't talk about.
It sucks. And, it's been hard to explain to him, this is what life is like, son. You're going to get bad things thrown at you, and you're going to get good things. And it's who you are as a person and what you do to come out of it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I answered that question. I kind of rambled and went all over the place, but
I think you did.
being a good person and being true to who you are, and just know that this guy that was a history major at San Jose State, is now off working with a great company like Ricoh, talking to great people, meeting people in the hobby, making a difference. I feel like we make a difference. And yeah, it's just at the end, some hardware piece of product, but it's more than that. What we're doing is we're helping people. I want to believe that some of these eBay online sellers are using my products to put their kids through college.
And you connecting people.
That's why we do things.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Now, you said some things here. If you could go back and talk to the 16-year-old Don Caruso, what's the main piece of advice? Because I could answer for the 16-year-old FD.
Man, outside of the obvious, like buy Apple stock and stuff, I think it would just be, remember that in life, things don't come to you. You have to earn them. I was a kid growing up in high school and in college that I had a lot of friends. I wasn't the greatest student. And I don't think you have to be the greatest student to go to college and get a degree and all these things. You just have to show you're dedicated to something. That's all a college degree is today.
That's it.
It just shows that you spent 4 to 6 years doing something that was hard.
And somebody stamped a piece of paper.
Some Gray Davis stamped my paper.
Say you were here.
Saying that I'm not an idiot and that I didn't give up. And that's honest to God, that's all that a degree means to me when I'm a hiring manager and I'm looking to hire people is, okay, show me you did that. I don't care if it was in basket weaving or if you had a medical degree.
Yes.
It shows me that you're resilient. So if I can go back, I would tell that kid to just work hard, believe in yourself, make sure you don't, and there's a lot of choices in life I could have made that would have been really bad. But for some reason I didn't, and I can't tell you why. But that's just the way that I was kind of brought up. I was brought up, we were a divorced family. I have a younger brother and somewhat had to look out for him, when we were younger growing up. But we all are a family that has been working my entire life from 16 on. And that means something, So I don't know. It's hard to say. That's a good question, though. What would you do?
For me, I was probably more mature or thinking about things. I got the gift and the curse of good memory. And I have built a strategy for myself ever since I was young. I mean, Don, really young, where things have to make sense. Like I gotta build an idea or strategy up before I start implementing something, which I love about the hobby. And once I do my strategy work and I look at something, I have no problems. If anybody knows me and watches Roll with FD and watches content, of making my own decisions. Like I'm not talking about the athletes in the sport that a lot of people are talking about. When I walk a show, I'm not looking for the cards on the table that a lot of people are looking for. I'm looking for something completely different because I believe if it was that easy, if athlete X could come out of high school and have a 25-year career of averaging 25 or more points per game, just because of where they were drafted. If it was that easy, then we have a lot of superstars.
Oh, that's a good point.
But it's not that easy. It's not. We talk about a guy like Seth who came from a small school, like very small, got overlooked by major universities, and then they try to come back in his sophomore year and say, "Hey, now we want to bring you in." He said, "No, I'm gonna stay with the team that loved me, that came after me, that showed me something." There's guys out here from way bigger schools. I'm looking at the Joker right now. 2nd round draft pick, really from nowhere, was drafted, I think, while a TV commercial was going on. So if it was that easy, there would be a lot. So it's not. So you got to have a strategy.
Life isn't easy.
So I was a young person who thought like that, right? So I'm ranked high in my high school class. I was ranked number 1 at one point. I was ranked number 1 for years. And that was very important to me. Right? So I'm an athlete. But being ranked number 1 was more important than being an athlete. So I'm playing football, Don, and I'm on the track team. I was throwing shot put and discus. And our basketball and baseball coach approaches me one day. He said, "You ever thought about playing basketball and baseball? I've seen how you move, kind of how you run. I've watched football practice a little bit. You ever thought about?" I was like, "Nope." He was like, "Well, you think you want to do that?" "No, sir." Immediately, Don.
Yeah.
not even thinking about it. And he was like, "Well, why not?" "Because I want an off season. I want to be able to get away from football and track. I only did track to kind of stay in shape for football. I want to focus on academics. I want to be just straight on this. If I had to get in a time capsule and go back in time, I would do something. I would be on first base catching the ball, and I'll be playing small forward or center or small forward or power forward. We had a very nice center on the team. He wanted to run a twin towers kind of thing. I'd be doing that.
Yeah.
Because I want to. Another advice I would give my children is that, hey, you can hang your hat on the GPA. That's cool. I respect it. That's what I decided to do. Or you can do some things that may help round you out. And every time we go to the park and I'm swinging a bat, now I think I should have played first base.
Yeah. You'd have been a nice, big, tall first baseman.
Yes, I think so. I think it would have helped me with flexibility. Been able to stretch and get the ball. Help my hand-eye coordination. It's just been fun to challenge myself physically at something that is not my go-to.
Would have been different. Yeah.
Playing football, coming off the line and blocking and stuff like that. That became like you could do that with your eyes closed.
And that mentality of thinking is the new way of thinking for a lot of sports coaches. Right? There's a lot of baseball teams, for example, that are taking the summer months off so that kids can go play football. I think it's the Mike Trout rule of thinking, right? You play as many multiple sports that gives you flexibility and different attributes in other areas, and you can become a better player.
Because every sport, you're not built for every sport. So then you're gonna have some weaknesses that you got to work on. And while you keep working on all these different pros and cons of your physical self, mentally you're gonna go to another place. So
yeah, it's interesting that you said when you go to card shows, you go for a specific purpose. I'm kind of the same way. I go to card shows first off to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool to see some of these people like the Jeff Jukos of eBay and the Rob Verises and you and the Mojo Sports guy and all these figures and characters really is what everybody is first off fun. But if I go to a card show and I'm trying to find, I'm very surgical with what I want to buy. First off, I'm cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like spending money for autographs and big high-end cards. I expect to pull them out of packs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like for Burbank, I went with two real reasons. And part of it was my son is, number one, I wanted to get the Billy Ripken F-Face card.
Yes.
I had that at one point in time, and then I sent it to Major League Network and never got it back to get him to sign it. I ended up picking one up for $60. I was pretty happy about that. The second one was Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
I'm a big wrestling fan, so I'm trying to, now that I've got basically every baseball and football and basketball card that I've always wanted to get autographed, I'm now venturing into the wrestling side of the business to try to get my Ric Flairs and the Hulk Hogans and the Stone Colds and that type of thing. So it's on my son watches it. So I was able to bring 2 cards back. That was, again, surgical. Like, if I'm going to be, if you see me walking around a floor, it's for a purpose. I'm not just wandering, trying to look at cases. It's because I want to go beat mama breaks or what have you, spend time talking to them and see what makes them tick. And, I think that's what's wonderful about this hobby though. Like just meeting guys like you and doing things like this, but just meeting the people out there. I mean, Mama Breaks was a mom. Like a stay-at-home mom, and then started her little Instagram thing, and now it's huge, right? She's got a baseball card now, for God's sakes, right? Like, it's there's so many stories like that. Seabliz, he's an interesting character when you see him online. Has a specific way of delivering. I mean, he's blown up because of social media.
But people gotta realize, you stop him and talk to him in person. You have a great conversation.
Yeah,
I don't know why people don't think that. But
smart guy,
very smart guy, insightful. You talking about a person that has a strategy. Mojo too. Yeah, you stop and talk to Mojo. Mild Grace, you have a great conversation. So I don't.
Yep.
I always talk about you got gyms on the table, right? You got the PSA 9s and the PSA 10s, and what is this worth? But you also got gyms walking around.
You do. It's a great way of putting it.
You can't walk past. You shouldn't walk past and not get to know them, know their story or something about them or what they collect. I'm gonna tell you this. I was in Burbank Saturday.
Okay.
I saw a gentleman that I see at shows. Because I had asked Junior to go. Junior wanted to sit down. So, all right.
Check it out. Come on, Junior.
Yeah, my feet hurt. I'm like, you're 7 years old. So why don't you go sit over there? So he sat by a gentleman that I've seen at shows several times, and met members of his family. And I went over to talk to him before we left because I was walking past the gym that was standing there. I'm walking past him. I shake his hand. I talk to him for a little bit, and I could tell his mind was on something. I could just feel that, and it wasn't just the cars. He hits me with a message today. He had a newborn baby that had some complications. He said the baby is doing much better now, but he just thanked me for stopping him and talking to him and bringing him out of what was really on his mind.
Wow.
He was running a whatnot and trying to pick some cars up. But I could tell it was bigger than that. This wasn't about the whatnot. Yeah. His mind was on something else. So, and I'm grown enough now to know that everybody's dealing with something. Everybody. So just stop and say, what's up?
Yeah.
Talk to people. Get to know a little something. If it's hard for you to engage in conversation and meet people up front, talk about what y'all have in common. Talk about cards.
Yeah.
And then you can move over into talking about something else. But it helps people. I mean, just hearing this story today helped me. I have children.
Puts things in perspective.
Yeah, I've had members of my family who has passed away. I have been to 2 funerals recently of people that one of a parent of a guy that I know, and one of a gentleman that's no more than 59 years old who had a health issue. My main advice to people is take life seriously, get to know folks.
Yeah.
We're not here for a long period of time, people. We're here for a short period of time. So just know people, spend time, get to know Don Caruso's of the world, find out something about them.
Yeah. It's crazy you say that. It's same thing here. I mean, I'll be 49 this month. So I can't even believe that number. I don't feel like I'm 49, but same thing in the last couple months. It's people that I've known that passed away. Good people have passed away. And I'm doing things like this weekend, I was doing a trust with a lawyer. I've never done that before. I never had to think about that. But doing those types of things right now at this point in life, it's just like, wow. Mm-hmm. Like it just reminds you when you're in a situation to enjoy your life a little bit more than probably what you would have. Take advantage of that. It's go to a card show on a weekend, spend $100 on a card. So what? Give yourself. My wife gives me a hard time because I have this big giant case of all these cards. I actually have multiple cases of all these cards, and she's like, "What do you do with them? You can't play with them." I'm like, I enjoy them. I love the fact that I got a Steph autograph and can whip it out in a Shaq autograph and all these other players all these cool different things that I can enjoy with my son. The hobby is here because of fathers and sons. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. Like at some point in time, your dad showed you how to do it, and you show your sons, and that's what keeps this hobby moving is the relationships between people. And that was a great story. Like you never know what's going through people's mind when you talk to them.
You never know. And it's great to see how many daughters you see in the hobby, how many moms are walking around, how many families are walking around.
Yeah.
Age groups. You can have an 8-year-old standing next to someone that's in their 80s and 90s.
Grandfathers with them. Yep.
There's nothing
better than that.
Nothing better than that.
Yep.
Especially when you get to be, when you get off the field or you get out of school and there's no more competition. Because most people probably don't know that. When I got to playing football down, I didn't watch ball for 3 years.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
Did you get injured leaving or?
No, sir. Never really had. I pulled a hamstring once and I sprained an ankle once.
All right.
But nothing that was debilitating that you walk. It's just like you walk away and then I'm sitting watching TV and I see a few guys I played against and okay, we gotta go ahead and turn that channel.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But then I had to sit down. I tell this story. I had to sit down and I had to say to myself, if I was born in any other country in the world, I'm not a football player. So why am I sitting around every day walking around thinking, oh, my football life is over?
Yeah.
It's just something that I did. I didn't value. I shouldn't value myself on the whistle blowing and me pulling and destroying someone. I shouldn't value myself on that.
Mm-hmm.
I should say that's something I did up until the age of 23. And hopefully I have a lot more time to do something else that I'm known for. So like here, right, at home, I was thinking about this. I was talking to Junior the other day, and I was like, you know Dad played football, right? He was like, yeah, I know that. And I was like, do you really know? He just sat there and
you got to dust out the VHS?
Yeah, I think I need to pull some stuff. I got to get my resume out here now. let people know what the deal is. But I look forward to when he's involved in whatever he's interested in.
Yeah.
But I will be there to give him some advice. Like we were talking about different sports, different things to do, chess club, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to be on a debate team, whatever it is, that you should go ahead and do that. Balance yourself where you can still focus on academics. But
that's a good point. I know you have an older son too, right?
Yeah, Greg is 18. He does all the editing. And then I have another son that's 3.
Oh, all right.
And then
so you can learn from all of the different situations. I only have one kid, and he's 11.
Okay.
And one of the best things that I think I do for the kids when I used to be the head coach in rec leagues, after every game I would pull out all my common cards and I would just give a crap load of cards out to the kids. And I would give them a homework assignment. It was strategic of what I was, again, that surgicalness, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to give the pictures of Nolan Ryan and then I'll be like, you go tell me what Nolan Ryan is about. Go on YouTube and I want you to come back on practice on Thursday and tell me how many strikeouts he had. Mm-hmm. And then such and such, Sammy Sosa. All right, tell me how many home runs Sammy Sosa had the year he lead the league in home runs, right? And got to see the look on the kid's face. Like they could have lost 17-1. I'm not the greatest coach in the world by far, but it's about just making the kids happy. But the cards and all those things just took their mind off of things right away and brought them back to that kid reality where you can collect something. Somebody that is important, a mentor, maybe someone like me, is giving them something in a homework assignment. Mm-hmm. And they can, learn something from it. And, and that's one of your son's at that magical age, that 7-year-old, 8-year-old age. Yeah. He's going to figure out what he wants to do here really soon. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's something Dad loves too, because that just makes it a hell of a lot better.
If it is, that's cool.
Is it? Then that's all right.
Good.
If he wants to go play chess or play whatever it is that, is maybe different and he enjoys it, great. Just go be the best.
All he's going to hear from me is prepare yourself and put the work in.
Put the work in.
Yeah.
No time off. That's right.
Go get it.
Yep.
I'll be on the sideline, or I'll be on the side of the table or in the bleachers or wherever I need to be, where I can get a little seat.
Yep. With my popcorn and my video camera.
Go get it. Go get it. Yeah, I'll probably embarrass him, yelling his name out. He's like, can you calm down? No, we ain't calming down.
Yep. Nope. Yep. You'll notice on my YouTube page, I've got every single baseball game my son's ever played on there.
I watched a few videos that you.
It's pretty cool. Like, and nobody really knows, but I would use those to scout other teams at 7 and 8 years old too, and go back and know what their tendencies are. But we won some games in the playoffs by doing that.
You got to multitask, man.
Got to multitask. That's right. Everything has a purpose, right?
So, Don, tell us about your travel schedule. Like, where are you going now?
Oh boy. So the next show that we're signed up is the National.
Oh, I'll be there too.
Yeah.
I'm really about to start buying tickets probably as soon as we get off here.
Yeah. We've got to go and book our flights and everything too. But we're going to be at the Card Dealer Pro booth, Collects booth.
Okay.
And then at Burbank, we signed up for the September Labor Day weekend Burbank show. You can find our scanners kind of all over the place, though, because the wonderful thing is our partners, Chronosio and Card Dealer Pro, they do 2 to 3 shows each per month. So, like, they were just at the Morristown Card Show. The Card Dealer Pro guys, the Chronosio guys were in Toronto at that big Toronto card show.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see a scanner, odds are you're going to be able to see it in any major city event of some kind.
Okay.
But, right now, I mean, this is selling the scanners is about $500,000 a year market for us right now in this trading card market. We're part of a $300 million a year firm, though. So my day job is actually all spent on helping that firm. And then later on in the day, I go and support the hobby that I love and created for this market.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we plan on being at more. We just got to look at the schedule and try to find the time.
Big John asked a question. Any plans to come to the Northeast shows?
God, I would love to do a show in the Javits Center or something, but right now, no. We did Atlantic City last year, the National.
Yeah.
But we tend to, I tend to gravitate to the really large events.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a certain number of tables for us to, it's not cheap, right? It's expensive to fly out all the equipment and to book the tables. And, if we're going to do something, we do it in a big manner.
Well, I can't wait to see you at the National.
Yeah, it should be fun.
And before that, I can't wait till we get together in the Bay Area to celebrate this championship.
For sure. It's gonna happen. I have a feeling.
I'm a
special season.
I was a firm believer before they beat Sacramento. Because this is what I looked at, Don. People talking about, man, they don't win games on the road, right? This is a totally different team.
It's a different team.
Wiggins is back. GP2 is here.
Yep.
Wiggins is a stabilizer. This is people don't realize. If you look at that 2015 team and teams that came after, Klay Thompson was that stabilizer.
Yep.
Klay Thompson was that two-way player that Steph can be over here shooting. I'm about to put this defense down on their top player and wear them into the ground. That's what Klay was. So now Klay had the knee injury, Achilles injury, so he can't be that stopper anymore.
No.
Every night. Can't do that. He can have some plays here and there where he makes a difference. So now Wiggins is that he's even taller than Klay. He's a defensive stopper. Like you said, I think we're going to see more Kuminga coming up to be that person. GP2 is an agitator. He gets you off your rhythm. He's super athletic. You saw him in the last game in the paint and then go close out on the three.
He's just annoying.
Murray and block basketball and keep the ball in bounds and pass it to somebody.
Yep. He's that special player. Yep.
And so and this is what the Patriots did. They developed a system, and then they started plucking and moving players in and out of that. What abilities can you do? Okay, Richard Seymour, okay, you can get this done for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
But he took over what some other players were doing.
Yeah.
And that's what they do when you want to get this dynasty going. You get that system going. You start plucking and playing. So that's why Golden State has had this dynasty, has been going on. And I think they're going to be successful this year because there's still going to be more attributes of other players that's going to help them do what they're doing. But having Wiggins back and have him come in shade, playing the minutes that he's playing and being effective.
He's the wild card.
And people say at the beginning of the season, I know he broke his finger, but Fox is destroying you all. He's averaging 30-some points a night. Okay, and I wrote back to someone. If you check the stats, that's what Luka Doncic did last year.
Yep. It's one player.
Are we going to make you work for that 30?
Yeah.
Or are we going to give up an efficient 30? No, we're going to make you work for it.
Well, yeah. I mean, what I'd like to see the Warriors do in this next series is don't rely so heavily on the three-pointer. It seemed like for a couple games, it seemed like every other shot was a three-pointer. Mm-hmm. They beat people off the dribble. Take the ball to the basket, get them in foul trouble. Get the ball inside. It's open because everybody's expecting you to shoot the three.
Mm-hmm.
Take it inside.
And I think that's what was so cool about Steph's 50.
Yeah,
that you saw him moving around, penetrating,
he was all over the place,
taking people off the dribble.
Yeah,
we need a little bit more of that.
I believe
as well, sir. But Don, I really enjoy having you here.
It was great. This was a lot of fun.
This has been an excellent conversation. I appreciate you reaching out to me and talking about this.
Yeah,
and we got to have you on again here soon
for sure
to talk more. I know we'll have you on before we get to Burbank. But we'll probably try to have you on before we get to the national as well.
Right on, man. Anytime. Just you know how to get a hold of me.
Yes, sir.
But I got to know who we're rolling with, though, right?
Well, we're about to get to that.
Oh, okay. I don't want to jump to it. I've been waiting for it for like an hour and a half. I want to be cool on the front minute and a half.
You got to be chill. You got to have icy event. You got to have icy event.
Kind of sit back and be cool about it, right?
Don Caruso.
Yes, sir.
Who are you rolling with?
We are rolling with FD.
My man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man.
Tell your son hello. Junior, I'm planning for Junior to come to the national with us. I'd like for Junior to meet you.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm sure they can go around.
I would definitely like for them to meet in the Bay when we get up there.
For sure, man. For sure.
Brother, I appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
Hold on. I got a comment for Junior.
Oh, do we got any other questions?
Me as soon as I got off. You didn't see my comment, Dad?
No.
Junior was saying he wanted to be a mayor when he grew up. He wants to be a mayor.
Strive high.
Mayor Junior.
Mayor Junior. Anybody can do it.
That's right. And I know Junior can.
Look at Back to the Future. Went from a restaurateur to the mayor.
Yeah, mayor.
Mayor.
Don, appreciate you, brother.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, sir.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.